The story of Olive Oatman is one of the most well-known frontier narratives of 19th century America. It is often told as a dramatic tale of captivity, escape, and return to civilization. In reality, however, it is a far more complex story about intercultural contact, violence, adaptation, and memory. Olive was born in 1837 in Illinois to a family associated with the Latter-day Saint movement founded by Joseph Smith. After Smith's death, the community divided. One group, led by Brigham Young, migrated toward Utah. The Oatman family joined a smaller group heading southwest in search of a new settlement. In 1850, they sold their property and began traveling to California with other emigrants. At that time, the American West was undergoing rapid transformation. The gold rush, increased migration, military expansion, and frequent conflicts with native tribes. The territories of Arizona and California were unstable frontier zones. In February 1851, near present-day Arizona, the Oatman family was attacked by a group generally identified by historians as Yavapai. Most of the family members were killed. Only two daughters survived, Olive, age 14, and her younger sister, Mary Ann. They were taken captive. The circumstances of the attack remain debated. It may have been related to scarce resources, tensions with settlers, or a localized conflict. Such clashes were common in frontier regions at the time. For about a year, the girls lived among the Yavapai. Sources suggest they were used primarily as laborers, carrying water and performing domestic tasks. Much of what we know about this period comes from Olive's later accounts and from a book published in 1857. Because of this, historians approach certain details cautiously, considering the influence of social expectations of that era. In 1853, the girls were traded to members of the Mohave tribe, who lived along the Colorado River. Their status changed significantly. The Mohave were agricultural and maintained a structured kinship system. According to records, the girls were integrated into the community, given land to cultivate, and incorporated into social life. During this time, Olive received a traditional blue chin tattoo, a marking worn by Mohave women. In their culture, it symbolized belonging and spiritual protection. In 1855, a severe drought struck the region. Due to food shortages, Mary Ann died. Olive became the only surviving member of her immediate family. She lived among the Mohave for approximately 5 years. The degree to which her adaptation was voluntary remains a subject of historical debate. In 1856, soldiers at Fort Yuma learned of a European-descended woman living with the Mohave who bore a tribal tattoo. Negotiations began through intermediaries. Following an agreement, Olive was returned to an American settlement. She was 19 years old. Her return was a profound cultural shock. She changed her clothing, resumed speaking English, and gradually reconnected with surviving relatives, including her brother Lorenzo, who had survived the attack. Public attention and the book. In 1857, Minister Royal Stratton published a book about her experience. It became popular as captivity narratives were in high demand among readers of the time. Olive delivered public lectures describing her years among native tribes. However, the tone of these presentations reflected mid-19th century social attitudes, which were increasingly negative toward indigenous peoples. Modern scholars note that parts of her story may have been shaped to meet audience expectations. In 1865, Olive married John Fairchild. The couple settled in Texas. They had no biological children, but adopted a daughter. In later life, Olive rarely spoke publicly about her time with the Mohave. She lived relatively privately and engaged in charitable work. She died in 1903. Why her story matters. The story of Olive Oatman remains significant for several reasons. It documents one of many intercultural encounters on the American frontier. It demonstrates the complexity of relationships between settlers and native tribes. Her chin tattoo remained visible for the rest of her life, a permanent mark of a specific chapter in her biography, and a reminder that the American frontier was a space of difficult, often tragic, cultural intersections.